All right, what's going on YouTube? It's your boy C for 3. You already know I do this basketball and astrology in motion. Back with another video. It is July 14th. We have a new moon in Cancer going on right now as I speak. So, as always, hope you guys been doing good. Hope you guys been enjoying the summer so far, July so far, right? Once again, Cancer season, water sign, all the ups and downs in Cancer. So welcome to the video. Hope everybody has been just processing their emotions, self-care, reflection, all things encompassing Cancer. So welcome to the new moon, another video, so I'm just gonna hop right into it. As you guys know, astrology, this stuff happens all day, all year, around the clock. There's people like me that study it. Some people might not know about this, but if you do, welcome to the video. And let's just talk about the new moon. So a new moon happens every month, and we have a full moon that happens every month. We had a full moon like 2 weeks ago, maybe like 7 or 14 days ago. I forget the math exactly. It was 7 or 14 days ago. Somebody could fact check me, but we had a full moon like 2 Mondays ago, probably 14 days. But now we have a new moon. So the new moon happens when the sun and the moon is in the same sign per astrology, meaning the sun and the moon is right next to each other, so much so that you can't see the reflection of the sunlight through the moon. So you have no moon in the sky right now. If you look up tonight, and if you probably looked yesterday, you couldn't see the moon. It's right after the crescent moon is a new moon. So that's what we're experiencing now. So spiritually speaking, when there's not a new moon in the sky, you can plant something new seeds, new beginning, aka I'm seed. I know all about growth, planting things, starting over. See, I got the hair anyways, right? So one long dread here. But you know what I'm saying? We get to the point where, full moon things come to an end. You pick that harvest. Now we're at a new moon. You want to plant something new. So we talk about Cancer, right? It's a good time to try to maybe hit the reset button with certain family members, certain emotions that might have been too strong this summer, right? Hitting the reset button with like our self-care. Me personally, I had to drink more water going into this summer, especially me playing basketball, being active, drinking more water is something I need to do consciously. I feel like I drunk a lot of water, but like consciously refill, make it a more conscious effort in my diet. So that's a part of the self-care and Cancer season. Not to mention just regulating your emotions, trusting your gut feeling. I think a lot of us in this social media era, sometimes we get used to trusting our sources, Google, AI, but if you know anything about astrology and I want to say the zodiac signs that are under the horizon as opposed to the zodiac signs that are over the horizon, right? The under the horizon signs from Aries to Virgo tend to trust more of our gut feelings. Me being a Leo, Cancer, Leo, we have that. So this is a good time in Cancer season to trust your gut feelings, your intuition. Trust what you might have learned during your childhood upbringing. What did you learn in school? Because we all have different modes of communications, different modes of learning, receiving information, intuition, spiritual gifts, so on and so on. So Cancer season, and it's a cardinal sign, so all cardinal signs are self-focused in general. Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, all my cardinal sign people are more self-starters than anything. So it's a good time to try to figure out, how do I hone in on my intuition in Cancer season, right? How do I find these certain maybe water sign gifts I have, yeah, Cancer is a good time too. I mean, you got kids, you got a family, you got a wife, you got cousins, you got uncles, you got anything you care about that you can call your family, like me, my basketball family, my basketball friends, the teams I coach, the players, the parents, right? Maybe you have an extended gaming family, video game family, a book club that you call a family, a workout club that you call a family. anything that you call a family, because a family isn't just always the traditional family. A family is what you make it, and what you call those people close to your heart. You know, it's a good time to check on these people, make sure everybody doing all right, and support those people, make sure they're supporting you during this Cancer season. So it's just a good time for this new moon, you know. The Cancer new moon can be soft because Cancer is one of the softest signs in the zodiac, aka the crab. You know, the crab has that hard outer shell, but you break through that, it's soft meat, you know. Cancer also is ruled by the moon. So even per astrology, the moon isn't a dominating planet such as Mars or Saturn, you know, structure and soldier driven Mars and structure like Saturn. The moon is very fluctuating, as we can see. New moon, full moon, crescent moon, waning, waxing. The moon goes through a lot of different phases. So Cancer season could have been ups and downs for a lot of people, ruled by the moon. So it's a good time to really not do too much. If it's not like an eventful new moon, you feel like things are going steady, you know, take inventory and self-care, heal, nurture, laugh with your family and friends, and let that skate on to the new moon. That's my advice, you know. Check in with home life. Me personally, at one point I was almost evicted during Cancer season. I talked about it on Facebook, IG, socials. Add me on socials under Seed Hoops if you want to see more of how I present my astrology, and just keep with me as a day-to-day. Follow me, I'll follow you back. Add me, I add you back. But yeah, I definitely almost got evicted again. Not to mention that Mercury retrograde is going on at the same time in the sign of Cancer. So this Cancer season could have been heavy on replaying certain events, certain traumas, certain good events too. You know, it doesn't have to always be trauma. You can also, like, for example, I had flashbacks to when I scored 60-something points, like on July 15th or 16th last year. So I had a good game earlier in July, just thinking about how July is a good month for me for basketball. So nostalgia, as they call it, reminiscing on the good or the bad, is something that Cancers do. Once again, Cancers can be all over the place. So this season, a lot of people could have been up 1 minute, down 1 minute, motivated, not motivated. I love my family, I hate my family, you know what I'm saying? My boyfriend's stupid, my girlfriend's stupid. For all the ladies, my boyfriend's stupid. For all the guys, my girlfriend's stupid. Then next day, 3 hours later, I love my person, I love my spouse, I love my wife, I love my boyfriend, girlfriend, etc., etc. So Cancer does have that wildness nature to it because it's the sign after Gemini. So as Cancer is trying to bring emotional clarity, Cancers can have overthinking emotions, you know. And if I'm confusing anybody in this video, tap in with me, get a personal birth chart for $25, get personal astrology work for $15 per month. I'll break down your birth chart, send you updates, keep you up to date for the new moon, full moons, different transits in your chart, you know. And for $25, I'll just give you like a straight up birth chart that one time, so you can have that video for future references. So anybody who wants to learn, you know, the language of astrology, these concepts, the gifts and curses in astrology, and life is full of gifts and curses, right? I mean, being tall is a gift. I don't know, some people may say being born into a poor family may be a curse, but curse can be broken. So we don't want to hear curses and think defeated, but gifts and curses, just like gifts can be taken away, right? Privilege, or they call it wasted your time, wasted talent. Use your time wisely. So pros and cons to all this. So like I said, it's a good time for new beginnings today. This is a new YouTube video I'm putting out. For example, new moon, new video. You know, I'm trying to make some new game plans for the kids I'm coaching today. Maybe put in a new play for them. So you watch this video, whatever you got going on in life, try to, you know, see something new you can start. And for those who know deeper astrology, you can see where the house of Cancer is for you in your birth chart. For me, it's in my 4th house. I have a natural birth chart set up, being an Aries rising. So with Cancer being in my 4th house and the moon there, definitely I'm blessed to have my apartment still, you know, setting a new foundation there as pay these bills on time, go forward. Not too much, you know. I'm pretty stable. So like I say, a new emotional reset. You know, I'm just personally getting to the way that I can keep going strong for the rest of this year. You know, try to have a good home work life balance, as they say. And trying to find some new things to do around my hometown that I stay now, so I don't have to always travel to have fun or explore. Trying to find new spots in nature. As it is cancer season, right? Maybe even trying to get to new spots of water, lakes, ponds, anything to help bring that serene mind in, you know. Not too much going on, you know. I always want to talk about, we can reference this in pop culture, what's going on now. Popular society, you know, society as a whole on a grand scale. One of the biggest stories that's going on, as you guys know, I do basketball and astrology work. I do like to tie that in when I can. Stay tuned for more videos about that. Stay tuned. But LeBron James finding a new home in cancer season. It's a perfect cancer season story, and I think that's why the NBA does free agency during July, because they're understanding the star map, the star rituals, the star rites of doing things during certain seasons to harvest a certain energy, even if people know it or not. So it's just a perfect time for this, you know. And shout out to God, because there's nothing new under the sun. So in a way, it matters, but God and the people who wrote the Bible, there's nothing new to people doing things on certain days and certain times. So well, LeBron James finding a new home. I think it's going to go to Philadelphia. I just want to put that in this video, but I'll make a separate video about that. But you know, these free agency decisions for NBA players can be emotional, right? You're moving your family, you're moving fan base. What if it doesn't work? These people will hate you. You move your family for nothing. And even LeBron being a little older, you know, trying to start something new, keep that mindset healthy, keep those emotions even keel, understand the highs and lows, you know. So, you know, LeBron James looking for a new home. Another person who was forced to find a new home got kicked out during cancer season. And it's funny because people might have called this guy a cancer because of how he act. He was intellectual. He spoke his mind. And that's no other than Jaylen Brown, who had to find a new home this cancer season. So he was forced to leave, you know, and that's also can happen during cancer season. Either you decide to leave something in your home life, or God will work in mysterious ways and have you get evicted, have you get traded, have you get packed up, lose this job, whatever the case may be. So really, whoever's watching this video, tap in with cancer season and why everything is happening. But Jaylen Brown found a new home in Philadelphia. I think it'll be good for him. A learning lesson, as you know, sometimes you have to find a new home. Sometimes we do get attached to what is home. You know, we've been there for a long period of time. We get familiar. But if you really study cancer and the movement of the moon, like I say, the moon changes. This phrase, go, 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 go. So Cancer's coming after Gemini also. Cancer is a sign of movement. Once again, cardinal signs are self-starters and motivators. Shout out to all my Aries and Capricorn and Libra folk. The type of people who will go out and start a business. The type of people who will go out and find a new home if they got to. So Jaylen Brown, I went a little deep on that, but Jaylen Brown had to move, you know. So sometimes in cancer season, we have to move, you know. And even on the way of moving, you might have to move to the other realm. So Nolan Wells, the story of the young guy from Mississippi, rest his soul. He got killed on a boating trip with the guys, white guys, as I might add. You know, people want to know about the racism component there, which is a very strong case, especially in cancer season, talking about nostalgia and bringing up things in the past. What other way to be nostalgic and bring up things of the past than classic racism, classic black guy killed in the water, drowned on a boat, pretty sure, yacht club, Carnival cruise, or private party, private yacht. He was out there in cancer season, and just so fitting that he got lost, probably drowned. You know, they pulled his body out the water. They did find his body, Mr. Nolan Wells. So cancer season, you just want to watch out who you hanging around, who you calling family, who are these friends? Do you know them? Do you trust them? And he was a young guy. He was 18, so we get it. You're 18. You might not know all these concepts. People are more gullible at that time, which is why me being 34, I can teach this wisdom wholeheartedly. And it goes back to what I said earlier this video about Cancer season. Trusting your intuition, try to trust yourself and not second guess. You know, maybe Nolan was the type of person who didn't even want to go, but they insisted him, they persuaded him. You know, it's a lot of reasons why. I don't know the details, but I'm just speculating. So, you know, maybe Cancer season, I'm just saying, for example, it might could save your life if you tap in with intuition. You know how to read the room, you know how to read the signs, you know how to read people. You know how to feel the atmosphere of Cancer as being a more under the horizon, nature eccentric sign. So things to think about. And last but not least, we had a story about Keanu, the basketball player from New York who got killed at a basketball game in his hometown of New York. You know, once again, another sad story. R.I.P. Keanu, R.I.P. Nolan Wells. These black men dying in this season. But what other better way is another Cancer season story to bring up the past, but then remind people of the black on black crime in certain neighborhoods with a bad reputation. Not bad people, just bad reputation because of a few bad people. But and then who knows if this was a ritual sacrifice for the new moon, even how I'm talking about it, right? Nolan Wells, right? Keanu from New York. These can be ritual sacrifices. We talk about the society that runs things, the Freemasons, the devil worshipers, the people who are greedy to the end because they know what side of the field they're on. You know, this could be a ritual for that this Cancer season. So I have other videos on YouTube breaking down these rituals. So there's nothing new on my videos and nothing new under the sun. But it just sucks, you know. Cancer season once again deals with home. My guy Keanu dies in his hometown at a place that most basketball players we call home. The basketball court is literally like a second home, a second house. Like I coach basketball now, and there's so many kids that come to the gym I work at, and they're there 2 hours before practice, sometimes 3, and they look at it like a second home. I can tell, you know, you live in the gym. It's not a cliche saying if you're a high-level thinker, athlete, a high-level performer. You understand the work you have to put in. And it just sucks that during Cancer season, this happened to this guy in his hometown, you know? So maybe I wish his intuition was up that day and he skipped that game or something, but who knows? But, you know, as it's in the name Cancer, it can be a lot of sad things too, you know? And it's funny, we have a season named Cancer. We have a disease named Cancer. So if you even think about that, this can be a lot of tears in Cancer season, right? NBA players could be crying. Moms could be crying over sons dying. We in America crying over the bills and the lack of opportunities, despite the way it is a struggle. So Cancer season could bring all that out right now. The struggles, the good nostalgia. Remember that you got through the struggles before. It's not the end. So with that being said, this video has been good. This is a new moon in Cancer. You know, set those new intentions today. Start a new project, start a new video, new relationship. You know, try to maybe start a new set of clarity with your parents, you know. Check in with them. You know, if you ain't talked to them, it's a good time to start a new conversation with your parents or friends or certain people you haven't seen in a while. Regulate your emotions. Leo season is right around the corner. So really write down, talk about it. I'll tell everybody to write things down because it's hard to remember everything day to day, week to week, month to month, year to year. You want to write things down, set these intentions, you know. You want a more peaceful life, it's a good time for that. If you want to try to make more money, you set those intentions now. You'll probably see that bloom out during Virgo, which is a sextile season from now. And that's a little bit deeper astrology also. But, you know, once again, new moon in Cancer. Watch your emotions. Pay attention to your inside feelings. And it's ruled by moon. So ride the wave, ride the ups and downs. You know, try to laugh through this retrograde and this new moon. You know, get out there. This new moon is going to be powerful. It's going to set us up to go deeper into the fall. So, you know, vibe high. It's your boy C for 3. I'll catch y'all on the next video.